The Hawk That Dare Not Hunt by Day. Author's note. The principal characters in the story, except Tom Barton, the narrator, and his Uncle Jack, are people of history, including King Henry VIII, Sir Thomas More, John Stokesly, Peter Quintel the printer, Peter Schoeffer the printer, Johann Dobnik, Herman Rink, Henry Phillips, Thomas Poyntz, and William Tyndale himself. Two others, Herbert Belsey and Samuel Carswell, are based upon real characters. Smuggling is an important part of the story. In the time of Henry, it was not so infrequent as it is now. We have invented more varied and sophisticated types of fraud. Towns, cities, districts, whole lengths of the English coast were engaged in smuggling. It was not only a profitable and a fairly honorable profession, but also a source of adventure for the old and the young. It began in the 13th century and came to flower 400 years later under Samuel Pepys. As Secretary of the Admiralty, Pepys made a tidy fortune by outfitting ships seized from the Dutch and French and sending them forth as his own armed privateers to prey upon foreign commerce. The plague described in the story was known as the Black Death. It took several forms, most of them fatal. It commonly came from a virus carried by rats or their fleas. The disease appeared suddenly. A person might be alive at breakfast and dead by supper time. In the 14th century, when the plague was at its height, 1/4 of the population of Europe, or some 25 million persons, died of this epidemic. William Tyndale was forced to flee England and for 11 years hid in peril of his life from the secret agents of the Crown and the Church. He hid so successfully there that there are several years of his period of life when no one knows where he hid. Even today, after years of diligent search, his hiding places, wherever they were, whether in the Low Countries, in France or in Germany, are still unknown. I have followed Tyndale's life as it is set down by the most known of his biographers, J.F. Mosley and C.H. Williams. Tyndale's letter to the governor of Vilvoorde Castle, asking for a warmer shirt, a Hebrew Bible, and a candle to read by, is word for word the letter that Tyndale himself wrote. Tyndale's wish was to translate the New Testament from its original Greek into everyday English. In the words of Erasmus of Rotterdam, speaking of the Gospels, he wished, open quotations, that the plowman might sing parts of them at his plow and the weaver at his shuttle, and that the traveler might beguile with their narration the weariness of his way. Close quotation. His perilous life lasted long enough for him to fulfill this wish. End of author's note.